What's up, everybody? It's Techno Saturday. Here we go. Sorry to keep you waiting. A few of you were here right at 1. Diligently, dutifully ready to start. And here I am, getting it going a little bit late. It was just one of those mornings. Looks like Absent was here first. What's up, Absent? Pavel is here. Elite 909 Force. Matsky from Scotland. John H. Kingston III is here as usual. Hey, from Rockaway Park. Who else is in the house? Martin Crockett, F-Stop, Will Joseph, Daniel from IntelliGel. Crack. Sorry. You're going to have to straighten me out on that one. New Drexian, hello. Peter Paws, hooray. Mundulator. Hank is here. 71 Collective, Sound Code, okay. Dexterous, Manipulator. Respect. All right. It's me. I'm back. It's Saturday, and there's Techno, and this is 343 TV. And we are 343 Labs, and we teach classes online and in person. And I'm just going to keep doing this in a strange way because it's fun. We're an online community. You guys are part of it. I'm having fun today. I'm goofing around a little bit. That's okay. Welcome, everyone. Deep breath. Okay. As per usual, Saturdays, techno, sometimes electro. It's been a busy week. I got to tell you, there's a lot going on here at 343. We're preparing for our event on the 19th and the 20th. But, you know, the big deal for me is the 19th. It's streaming all day, and we've got live acts and from Berlin, and we've got my show, and we've got special guests, and we've got Tetro, and we've got Abe Duque, and we've got performances from New York, and it's going all day. And definitely check that out. There's got to be some links down here somewhere where you can see what that's all about. Max Wild is in the chat. He can tell you all about it. He's right here. Thomas is in the house. The giveaway this week, he posted the giveaway, which I believe is an Arturia effects plugin of your choice. So this is your chance. Click that link. Give us your email. We'll give you a chance to get that Arturia effects plugin. And of course, they've been releasing a lot of really cool effects. I just did that one recently, the new granular thing, which I really like. And so I am definitely going to use that. Although maybe not today. Today, I was kind of thinking, in the beginning, just thinking simple, like not too complicated, not too crazy on the sound design front. And we'll see where it goes. It's a little bit improvisational today. I have a track idea. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna see how it goes. Somebody earlier mentioned, I hope there is some percussive techno today. I hear you. That's Peter Paws. Peter Paws wants to hear some percussive techno. Of course, there's percussion, but today it's a little more musical today. I've got some big chord stabs, and it's a bit, I would say, on the kind of funky side of techno, with some dub influences and some Detroit influences, but still like a pretty, hopefully the beat's going to be pretty heavy, right? Just trying to ride that line. A little bouncy. We'll see. So yeah, let me just go down. I told you it's a little goofy today. I'm just going down this list in my head of the things that I'm supposed to talk about at the top of the show. So we said who we were. We know who I am. I know who you guys are. I went through your names in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. Sound Code, yes, what's up? Luminous Cloud. I don't know if I said your name before, but I just noticed it, so I'm going to say it again. And right, yeah, so Max has thrown here in the chat, next weekend is Sync, a 2-day extravaganza with performances, workshops, discussions, giveaways. And there is a link. Thomas will give us the link so you all can sign up and check it out. It's part of our 343 Studio thing. It's basically our official launch event for 343 Studio, which already launched, but now we're celebrating it. And we're doing this big deal. And I've got a lot on my plate. So we've got a lot to get ready for. And so that's what's been going on. All right. Of course, our Discord, right? We got to talk about, if you haven't joined our Discord, please do. We're there. We come in and say hello every now and then. You can join our sample challenges. Actually, I got to get this one out of my head. I believe we've moved the sample challenges over to 343 Studio. That's going to be hosted there. But still, join the Discord, and you can, meet like-minded producers, get feedback on your music, things like that. And if you're interested in committing to a full-on multi-class course in terms of Ableton Live music production, synthesis and sound design, mixing and mastering, songwriting, composition, arranging, all of that stuff, we have those courses available in person and online in New York City and in Berlin. Okay, that's my due diligence. I believe that's what I need to talk about, and I'll probably talk about it again later. What is this? Someone's sending me a message here. Arcades? Hey, John, I just bumped into your videos a couple of days ago and love them. I shared a couple of them at work. I am a plugin developer, and they were a hit. Great. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that comment. Glad to have you. Welcome. Cool. Luminous Clouds ask funky like Jericho. Was Jericho... Who did Jericho? Someone remind me. I want to say that was... It's Swedish, right? Or is it I wonder if it's like Alexi Delano and somebody. Maybe it's like a combo of those guys. God, it's ringing a bell. I totally can't remember, but I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure. Maybe. Okay. Oh, good. Nice reminder from Max Wild here. He says the next sample challenge is on Tuesday. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. That's excellent. And Absent says, I am totally wrong. Jericho is a label or a British producer. Okay, so Absent's wrong too. Luminous Cloud says Jericho is a label. All right, we'll get it together. I remember now. The 90s are hazy, so that's a 90s label, I think. Right? It's coming back to me. Gel Ford, that's another one. Gel Ford, definitely good name to remember. Jericho is post-primate bear. All right, that discussion is going on in the chat. Let's make some noise. It's already, well, 1:38. I'm going to go over and see what's going on in my DAW. So this is actually, I started, what is going on with my camera? I started this sketch in a masterclass recently, and the idea, I was talking about some different concepts, some sort of overall concepts of techno. And one of those concepts is using relatively simple sounds as a starting point, but then using effects processing to make them distinctive, and using the effects as, the effects are like part of the instrumentation. It's not just adding space to your sound, it's actually doing new things and making the musical idea more developed. So it's more than just an effect. And I think that's pretty common in techno, right? Like, so much of it is not just the sound and the note you play, but the overall, the whole thing, right? Not just the synth and the effects are part of your instrumentation, right? So that's kind of the idea here. And I have just, this started out as even more of a simple sound, but it's really just a couple of sawtooth waves. All right, that's it. Well, actually, no, that's not the only thing that's going on. There's a sync, oscillator inside of this thing. So it's being phase retriggered and it's sounding kind of phasey. All right. And then that's being modulated. And it's giving, this is an electro day, but sounds like this are also definitely very electro, right? You get that little like detuned sync sweep up and down. It's very like an elemental kind of electro sound there. But what I'm doing with it though is playing big fat chords. So, right? This is where I'm thinking like, this is sort of my starting point for thinking about like an energetic kind of funky techno with chord stabs. And, but also a little bit of an atmospheric dub techno element to it. So that comes from the effects. I've got Live's echo here. And that's going to make it, it's going to, sort of basic channel-ify these funky chord stabs. All right. Let's see how it sounds with the echo on it. Yeah, I could listen to that all day. I just was realizing I didn't sound check before I started today. So if anybody wants to give me a heads up that you can hear me all right over the music. All right. And for me, the kind of magic in this is modulating the filter on this echo. So I've got random or sample and hold synced to 3/16, and the phase is offset, so we're hearing different filter settings on the left and right. It's doing the stereo movement and creating a rhythm. It's doing a delay a little bit too. It's going to cause some detuning. You can kind of hear the pitch sort of wobble a little bit in the echo. But if I get rid of that, that's okay too. That's just the straight filtered high feedback. And it's building up because I've got reverb in the feedback circuit and it's just gonna get too ringy. But as soon as I start modulating that filter frequency, there we go. It's gonna break up that feedback from happening and it doesn't get overwhelming. We do a little bit of the modulated delay as well, so it gets that detuning. Let's put a kick drum on that. Hey! Serotonin Records, Jason Sostek. What's up? Nice to have you today. Those of you who've been around for a while know Jason Sostek, good old friend of mine. His artist name is BPMF. He and I do Serotonin Records together. We actually have, Jason may not realize this, but we have a record coming out. I've been working on it for a while. I'm really excited about it. Can't wait to tell you more. But for right now, let's switch back to techno. And I'm John A. Says the music could be going down a little bit, so I'm just turning the volume down a little bit on that. All right. Right, so while I listen to this, I'm thinking, what else can we do to this? I don't want to go crazy with modulating that sound up and down. I will in the arrangement probably. For right now, I want to keep that energy up. So on the kind of funky side of techno, oh, ring, ring, ring. Let's turn that feedback down a little bit. All right. So I started a bass line, and I'm using an operator to do kind of an FM thing. And let's see how this is working. And the idea was to kind of go counterpoint against the chord stabs. So like the chord stabs do their blasts, and then in the second half of the bar, the bass kind of answers it. So that was sort of the idea. Still working on this sound, and I'm trying to decide how bright, aggressive do I want it to be. Let's just listen to that by itself. Right, it's interesting sometimes when you're doing FM how you can increase the level of a modulator and sounds go away. You'll get some kind of, I don't know, sidebands disappear and it gets darker. I'm reading the comments now. Y'all are still talking about the chord stabs. Let's see. Jason says, take out the source and just play with the wet signal. Okay, that's not the bass, but all right, I'm gonna bring the filter on this and bring it down into the background. Let's hear how it sounds with Jason's suggestion of just having the delay by itself. It's more dubby, more far away, right? And that's definitely something that could happen in the arrangement, right? And we could also play with the filter. I like that. Good suggestion. Let's put in a hi-hat, or shaker actually. No, close hi-hat. I already had a couple sounds just to start out real quick. This bass line needs work. Yeah, come on. All right. I keep coming back to the chord stabs. I love the chord stabs so much, and I like that you guys are making some good suggestions. We go from dubby to like, it changes the rhythm, right? Because we're not hearing the dry hits, which happened at the beginning of the bar. It's interesting how that changes the groove. I'm gonna turn it up in the room and make it more fun for myself. All right, so I'm thinking about how to make the bass line better. He thinks, Absent thinks maybe bring the bass line an octave lower. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny octave we're in, actually, and that's something that often comes up in all dance music with bass lines, not just techno, is sometimes the key you're in, if you're doing something musical, you'll write a bass line. You might have an idea for a melody in the bass that doesn't sound like it's deep enough, and it's hard to find the sound, right? And there's a sort of you'll say, oh, it needs to be deeper, so you'll go down an octave, but then it's too low and it doesn't sound tight and full, right? It sounds floppy. And yeah, it's kind of a battle there. And there are certain keys which are easier to do, right? I'm going to say around like G and A are really good, keys to be in, because your root is kind of like, in the right octave, you're around like 50 hertz, which is where like the kick drum is where that kind of thick bass is. So yeah, but if you go up higher and then you drop the octave down, it might be too low. Fundamentally, your bass note might be like 30 hertz or 20 hertz, and that might not work depending on what the sound is. So I'm just going to, anyway, and I'm going to take Absent's suggestion, and let's try and bring the bass down an octave. And he might be right this time. It's more grumbly now, right? And the other thing I would think about, I've been designing this sound. I'm in the middle of this isn't the final version of the sound. I want it to get better. And part of the thing I was thinking about was like the tuning of the oscillators and whether they're low. Like, right now, it sounds higher, right? I didn't change my MIDI notes, but I brought my carrier in the FM synth and operator up 2 octaves, and now it doesn't sound as deep anymore. It doesn't sound as deep anymore. It also sounds out of tune because I've got everything detuned weird. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's a tough one. Let's see what happens if I go up an octave again. Whoa! Definitely very Detroit vibes going on with this sharp digital bass sound. All right, we totally broke the sound now. Totally lost it. You're seeing me crash and burn with my bass sound live in real time. Isn't that exciting? Let's go back to the chord stab. I feel like sometimes if I'm fighting a sound too much, it's time to give it a rest and start fresh with something else, or just switch focus. All right, we know that like the initial idea of this track, the sawtooth wave, the big stacked chord, and then dubbing it out with the echo sounds great. So let's go back to that for a second. Wait, okay. Now that's funny. I was just checking out the chat while I listened to the chords, and apparently some of you guys liked what I was doing to it, even though I felt like it was going in the wrong way. So Jason says, yeah, that's techno portamento. I know BPMF is a big fan of portamento. All right. I like this. It's interactive today. I'm like, I'm trying to incorporate your ideas as they come in. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. But so far it's fun, at least for me, to kind of try to do what you say. This is too, for me, like it's too simple. It sounds just like it sounds more analog now. It sounds like a filtered sawtooth wave or something. It is more simple. All right, so let's do what Jason suggests and get some glide going on. That is definitely more in Jason's wheelhouse. What if we make this sound more aggressive? All right, the carrier is a sine wave. If I use another waveform, it might get a little dirtier. Just a little bit. If we detune. Detuning is really important in FM synthesis. When you detune them, then you get the phasing and you get the beating between the oscillators, and it moves and it sounds less stiff. Okay. I like this by itself. I'm not sure that it's doing what I want it to do to go with the chord stabs. What do you think? All right. Let's go back. Let's get the chords back on. I'm going to play with the chords and some percussion for a little bit while I think about what to do and read the chat. Just playing around with the filter a little bit is pretty cool. All right, Live Society says it's too simple and clean for me. The bass, I agree. I think it's a bit of a different vibe than what I want. I want it to be heavier, dirtier, right? Absent says sounds like Juan Atkins bassline. Yeah, definitely. That kind of Detroit vibe. FM, there's a lot of classic Detroit uses these pure kind of FM sounds. It has that. It is what that is. Jason's telling me needs Mad 909 hats. All right, yeah, we can add that. Sound code, a nice constant high would add width. Are you talking about like a string or a high-pitched melody on top? And I think someone mentioned something like a high string too earlier. Who was that? Can't find it. Some claps and percussion to add to the arrangement for sure. I'm not sure about claps, maybe. Let's talk about percussion a little bit. So I was trying to think about what I wanted to do with the drums for this. And kick drum and hi-hat is easy. Shakers, I like shakers. I was thinking maybe, I don't know, it might throw the vibe off again. Some kind of rolling drum loops in the back. And I grabbed, literally, I didn't try too hard to find the perfect loops. I just was going through whatever random samples are here in the library and just taking short pieces of drum loops just to layer in there. And we'll see. So it's got a little bit of a live feel, live drum kit feel. I'm going to group those together and pump them up a lot. Now I may need to EQ this. That kick drum probably will interfere with the main kick drum. Let's crunch it up too much. Just real banging. Not too complicated. So yeah, I'm trying to find this balance of like heavy, thick, relentless thumping techno, and then this element of funk with the chords and maybe the bass. That's where we're at right now. Those drum loops add a lot of energy, don't they? It's almost a little bit much. This one, I think I'm going to EQ that low frequency out of the... I don't know, let's see if that works better. Bass isn't gonna work, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Maybe it just needs to be darker and heavier, less bright. I don't know. What do we squash it up? There isn't even any EQ or anything on it. I'm gonna use a preset. That actually works, this low extender. It definitely brings the sub out of anything that has sub. By itself, I still don't know if it goes with the chord progression or the chord stabs. I mean, I'm getting into maybe territory with this. More shakers. Too many shakers. Those drum loops, man, they really added a lot. Just those two, it sounds like disco in the background, but with a lot of distortion on it. probably end up processing this as well, giving it something to play with. I mean, even just filter. Or another echo. Not like that. Do a little like Haas effect of the delay, like spread them out and the left and right phase offset a little bit. Just playing with that filter on the drum sounds cool. Just little changes make a big difference in energy. I don't know about the rhythm. Maybe I'll do something different. We'll see. All right. We're halfway through. We're getting somewhere. Whoa, sorry. Too much resonance. Got a lot of energy levels to play with in a few elements already. This is cool. All right. I don't hate the bass line anymore. Let's check in with everybody. Let's take a breath. It's Selway Techno Saturdays. I'm John Selway. This is 343 TV, brought to you by 343 Labs. Yeah. What's up in the chat, everybody? Nefertiti Gold, what's up? Nice to see you here. Simple Sam asks, why are there no shaker emojis? Little maracas? There's no maracas? I'm going to look for that. How do you spell maraca? Told you guys I was feeling silly today. Nope, no shakers. I'm sure you already did your due diligence, Simple Sam. All right. Absent says, I need this release. Then I'll have to finish it. I really do need to put out another techno record. I've been, most of the stuff I've put out in the last couple of years has been electro. Maybe it's time to do some more techno. I mean, of course, there's also what I do with Christian Smith, which is definitely techno most of the time. Even we make electro sometimes, actually. Sound Code has a good comment. Automate the filter for more movement. Yes, that's what right there with you. That's where I was kind of, in that last little section there, I was playing around with what to do with the chords, and, the filter is a lot. It's always, it's one of the easiest and most effective things to play with when you're automating, when you're modulating things. Apollo 420 says, so what's with shakers? More shakers, too many shakers? Yeah, it's a joke, yes. Using this many shakers, it's a lot of shakers. I'm not necessarily going to use all the shakers, all of them, all at the same time. But that kind of, yeah, I mean, in techno, there's, hi-hats, ride cymbals, shakers, high-frequency percussion adds energy, always. And so it's an easy way to go. It's also easy to overdo it. So, point taken, Apollo 420. Although, I'm John A says, too many shakers? No such thing. All right, so here's an alternate viewpoint. Bendigo, electronic music scene, welcome. Chords are doing too much. All right, so I think that's a taste and stylistic thing, because there's definitely a lot of kind of chord stab techno out there. Now, I will say there's a lot of modern techno that's more sparse, and you'll hear fewer things repeated over and over again like this. Like you'll have the drums repeating and the main groove repeating, but a lot of times the lead elements will kind of jump out at you and then go away. Wow, look at it focus on my hand. So, maybe a situation like if I take this chord stab and then just go have it repeat every 4 bars and leave space for other stuff, that would be another way to build up the track and give it a different vibe. And yes, it would have more space. So yeah, I think that's like a style difference, I would say. Absent says high pass on the drum loop group. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially when I'm arranging, to like bring it in and out, make it brighter, make it fuller, alternatively. And all right, Jason's weighing in on the shaker discussion. Jason says no shakers. No shakers. You think I should just use like hi-hats only? Hi-hats and claps and snares? I know, you're not a big shaker guy. I realize. I'm just thinking about your music. You never, almost very rarely use shakers, at least as much as I do. Maybe you throw them in there in a more sparse way. And I haven't really gone, there's so much more I could do with drum programming and changing and the rhythms over time. We're just fooling around and we're just sketching things out today. And what happens, happens. And if I get some more drum programming in, then I don't know. I feel like, though, I want to lean towards simple, looping, banging kind of beats. Not too complicated. Not too much in the way of variation, at least until I get to the arrangement of these elements, when I kind of put it all together. Cool. I'm John A says, oh, right. When removing the chords, I think, is what you're talking about. Much different vibes, kind of like it, but I would want a darker bass line. Yeah. So, right. That could be, maybe I'll do a different version of the track or a different mix where it's more stripped down and has more space in it, rather than being relentless and endless kind of repetition. But if you want that, that kind of freight train rolling and full on energy the whole time, that repetition is kind of what does it. A low tom wouldn't kill you. Oi. All right. Yes, Jason. Maybe we'll find some low frequency percussion to throw in here. It's funny. I was already starting to think about what other elements can I add to this besides drums, bass, and chord stab. And then it could be done. I could just start arranging it now. But yeah, because the bass line isn't very deep and rumbly or anything. There's probably some space for some other low frequency stuff, although the kick drum has kind of a long decay on it. So, all right. Let's go back and listen to what we've got, and I'll think about where to go next. All right. Let's go back to the more full-on energy. Going to bring the frequency of the cutoff up and... What did Absent say? Put a high pass filter on the on the loops. Just can barely tell because it's so bright. Like maybe if I put it before I think it works better before the drum bus, before the distortion and the compression. Maybe we need to do this. It's so old school to just do your arrangement with filters. You want to sound 90s, do this. All right. What do we think? All right. What do we think about? All right, I'm going to do this. This is another easy variation, but I'm going to add just like a... Oh. All these sounds are too thick. I don't often do presets, as you guys know. Maybe I'll just make something real quick. Just some simple. All right. Pulse width modulation. Unison detuning. All right. It's a start. This is a placeholder. All right. We don't want a pluck sound. We want... I'm doing that. I'm like, which note am I playing? It doesn't sound right to me. It sounds kind of, I'm making it sound a little bit like a Juno. Maybe it needs a chorus. Then it's really going to sound more like a Juno, isn't it? Thanks for sticking with me while I figure this out. It's the beginning of a Star Trek episode. All right. All right, all of that effort and I'm not sold. I wanted to try that idea out that someone threw in the chat earlier to do like a sustained synth string on top. But I'm not sold on it. I feel like it's taking a little bit in the wrong direction. All right, so that we'll keep that on reserve. At least I did a little simple sound design. I'm Johnny says the Arturia Juno chorus is fantastic and free. Yes, that is. Absent says should be an F sharp. Yeah. You're right. definitely makes it more spacey, more hypnotic, a little more chill, right? Maybe only in a break or something. Okay. Let's get that bass line in there. Sounds I just had a thought. The string and the bass line sound good because it's not too much. Like we're getting into like Chicago-y deep house mixed with techno vibes, or maybe like in the Dave Angel kind of world. Who remembers Dave Angel? As an amazing techno producer making really musical techno in the 90s, and he's still around. But yeah, Dave Angel made some amazing stuff, like musical techno, Detroit influenced, UK. Definitely in that realm, if I start adding kind of those more melodies like that. Nice. What time is it? All right, we got about 9 more minutes or 10 more minutes or so. I'm still reading. I'm still taking into account your suggestions. Elite Force says flanger on the chord Star Dancer style. I mean, I'm all for that. That will sound amazing. I will try that. All right, let's not forget that one. Flanger on the chords. And that goes back to the idea that I mentioned in the beginning. We've been kind of caught up a little bit in some other ideas, but how the echo on the chord kind of made it into a new thing, and using the effects to add new elements is a very techno thing to do. So if we do. All right, so you said, flanger. We want a very slow, if we're doing a Star Dancer style, it's a very slow frequency. All right, I'm going to open this up and offset the phase so we hear more of a stereo difference. That is trippy. I mean, that totally works. All right. Phase inverting it makes it disappear. Okay, that was a good suggestion. Thank you very much. Now, Jason, you had another BPMF, Serotonin Records. All 3 names. He's the same guy. Andrew Duke is here. What's up? What did you say about the bass? Jason said something about the bass. Totten Tant says ride. Yes, I think a ride will happen. Y'all are talking about M1 pianos. That's going to make it like definitely 90s rave / house, right? If I add some piano to it. Where was the comment about bass, changing the bass? Cut the bass in half when the chords come in. Which half of the bass line are you talking about? Which one is that? All right, that's what I want to know. Because, do you mean the second half? making it more, pushing it more, more repetition, a little more energy. Does that work? Probably does. Let's try it. Oh my God, that flanger is ridiculous. Huh, I have an idea. I feel like it's a bit busy. I'm gonna get rid of the note. All right, that flanger is killing me. It's like really... That works. Simplifying it. It is a little bit more driving techno and a little just having the bass line repeat every 2 beats instead of having that kind of interrupted, more syncopated full bar. So yeah, that was also a good suggestion for Mr. Sostek. What else are y'all saying? Oh, the winner. That's right. Philip McHugh. Congratulations. I think I don't know if we spelled the name wrong here. Congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, Philip McHugh. We will be in touch with the prize details shortly. Nice. Congratulations again. Very glad. So, all right. I feel like, I mean, it's been almost an hour. I have this feeling that I'm at kind of not a totally stuck point, but I'm at a point where I would like to reflect on where this track is going. So I think, you know, any more, I'm at a point where like you could just say, I have enough elements. Let's just knock the arrangement out. I'm sure Absent would agree. He said earlier, it's done, right? Like I've already gone through enough ideas to fully make an arrangement with just what I have. And you may want more, I may want more, but this is definitely a spot, you know, with this kind of techno, you don't have to get too complicated and add the whole world in the kitchen sink and do every little thing you're thinking. You can get started and make a solid arrangement. And then as you do that, you'll get ideas for what it needs. Right now, it feels like I could, you know, make a solid techno track out of this with what I have without adding much more. And when I go through the arrangement process, if there's anything that I didn't think of, or I'll think of it in that context, you know, and anything that's missing will make itself known to me. So I think we're at a good spot. Cool. Thanks for hanging out today and going along with this kind of me figuring things out with this sketch. And, you know, again, what I was thinking of in the beginning originally was starting with simple sounds and then adding effects to create more interest. And that definitely happened with these chord stabs, because, you know, if you listen to it, whoa. Just the chords. Thank you. Just the chords by themselves. You know, it has a feel, right? But as soon as you put those effects on, right? It's like I wrote another part. So there was that. And then the rest of it was just me figuring things out. So thanks to everybody for joining in today. We had a really nice exchange of ideas, a lot of good suggestions, a lot of nice comments here in the chat. Thanks very much, Will Joseph, Live Society, Totentance, Luminous Cloud. I'm John A. Is it John A? I think that's what I've been saying. John H. Kingston III, my good friend, also Jason Shostek from Serotonin Records. Simple Sam, Andrew Duke, glad you slipped in here towards the end. Absent was first here today. Thanks, lots of good suggestions from you. Pavel, Daniel, sorry I missed your comment. I'll have to come back to this one. Process the chords with a vocoder modulated by a hooky vocal snippet. Would be curious to hear bass line without the very last note. Two very good suggestions, and I really like that vocoder idea. That's actually something I was thinking about doing one of these days, is using the vocoder to do some different types of stuff with techno or electro that's not your typical like robot voices, right? So I will definitely look. That was a really good suggestion. I like that. Thanks, Daniel. And I'll let this be the last comment from Krioch. M1 finger snap. Anyone who knows, that's one of the, it is, I don't know if I love or hate that sound, but that sample, that finger snap from the M1 is iconic. It is stuck in my mind. I will never forget it. All right. Thanks again, everyone. I'm going to call it. I know it's a couple of minutes early, but got some family stuff to do, so I want to head right out of here since we got to run right out of here since we started a little bit late. Thanks again. I will see you next week. My streams, it'll be here as usual, but it's going to be part of the whole sync all day broadcast that we're doing. Again, if you want more information about that, there's a link here about how to sign up for 343 Studio and get access to see this event. And I've got a special guest. Electro fans, you're going to be very happy. So cross your fingers, everything works out. But I have a special guest lined up for the 19th. It will be an Electro Saturday next week. So that's it, guys. Thanks again. Have a good one.